Good afternoon, family, and welcome back to another episode of Godspeed, where we provide you a weekly market overview for the Lexus LC500. All right, fam, hope y'all ready for a tremendous weekend because we have an exciting episode in store for you tonight. Tonight's lineup includes a $54,000 sports package being offered from Hendrick Lexus. We've got a 35,000 mile L certified one from Desert Lexus. And finally, we've got another one of those before it hits the market, $64,000 L certified, highly sought after performance package from Lexus of Greenwood Village. Okay, family, time is of the essence on these opportunities because I've already spoken with several of the representatives, and each of them say that they've got folks out of state interested in the vehicle and chomping at the bit to take a look at these as soon as they're out of detail. So let's get into tonight's episode. But before we do, I greatly appreciate your continued support. Please do subscribe to the channel. Let's go. Let's get into tonight's lineup. So first out the gate, guys, we've got a tremendous opportunity that just hit the market this week. And already there is a lot of excitement around this vehicle, right? So I actually reached out to Milton Jackson, Mr. Jackson out here at Hendrick Lexus to get the scoop on what's going on with this vehicle, and I'll get a little bit more into that. But let's go ahead and at least just walk through not the video, but the car, and let's see a little bit about what this opportunity is, right? Obviously, we've got a 2018 Lexus LC500 here. It's in that gorgeous ultra white exterior, right? We can tell this one is a sports package. We've got the 21-inch wheels on there, and man, we've got a tasteful mod, which is the calipers already painted. It's also an expensive mod, right? Like if you guys have listened to some of my recordings in the past, right, you'll know that particular, because these cars come with black calipers already, then what happens is there's a bit of maintenance that's got to be done to the vehicle's calipers to remove the existing paint and then get it back down to the metal or the material and then put that new fresh coat of paint on there in whatever color you choose, right? Love this red coloring that they've selected, especially since the interior is that Rioja red on this one. Guys, we got a couple other goodies on this one too, right? So this one's got the tinted windows already done for us. And if you take a close look here too, right, you can also see that we've got the carbon fiber, which, you know, I can't promise until you see it up close and personal, right? But just because of how closely it looks like it's laying on it, we've got the carbon fiber. I'm thinking OEM carbon fiber done on this one. The other reason I'm thinking that this is OEM as well is because this looks to be the OEM carbon fiber spoiler as well. Now, these are, number one, they're discontinued right now, right? Or at least at the moment. They randomly come back on the market, available for sale with low quantities, and you just got to swoop them up, right? But even when you get them, you're roughly going to pay about $1,000 for each one of those parts. And then you've got several hours worth of installation, right? Because this one has to be bolted on. It's not a 3M. So it's got drill holes that you got to go into that trunk. And then on the front here, you got to take the whole bumper off, deassemble the grille, and it replaces, it's not an overlay, it replaces the Lexus material, that shinier part that goes down there. I think it's like really a tasteful mod, especially if you don't want to do the vinyl, because it gives a darker fitment to this grille while still keeping that nice, elegant chrome or that more elegant material that Lexus uses for the surround there, right? So, fam, we got a lot of value already built into this bad boy with the calipers, the tint, and both OEM carbon fiber pieces, right? Now, when we go to the inside here, it doesn't look like they've done anything else. I'm just double checking. Yeah, there's a better picture of those right there. We got Bridgestones on those. Calipers look to be in really good shape. So we got this gorgeous Rioja red interior, which I think is popping when you got those windows rolled down and you catch a glimpse of that red interior with those red calipers. Everything looks to be good on here. Family, let's go ahead and talk about the elephant in the room, right? Which is the 87,000 miles on this vehicle, okay? You guys know my stance, right? I mean, I think one of the reasons that we're even in this community is because we've got such an elegant, exotic-ish vehicle from a trusted manufacturer such as Lexus, right? So we can enjoy the visual aesthetics of this vehicle without having to worry about how much it's going to hit us every time we take it in for a service. Okay. So I'm not as concerned about the 87,000 miles, especially when we start to get to the price points that we're going to talk about here in a few moments. Okay. Looks like a little bit of oxidation right there, or it just could be dust. Keep in mind, I know for a fact these pictures were actually taken ahead of the full prep, because I just got off the phone with Milton this morning, and this car is still in prep, won't be out of prep until first thing tomorrow morning. Okay. All right. So, you see some of these aspects that are dirty right here. These are absolutely going to be remedied by tomorrow morning as a part of what looks to be, several days worth of preparation to get this vehicle in its absolute best showing for a pickup this weekend. I'm thinking, right? Okay, so glass top on this one, sports seats, Alcantara inserts on the seats, limited slip differential, right? This is that middle of the line package, right, that Lexus offers for this particular vehicle. And I think at this package right here, you really get, the best of both worlds. And because of what this person's done, you also get some of that carbon fiber stuff too. Okay, let's talk about the deets on this one, right? We already called it 87,000 miles on this guy, but family, look at the price point we got on this one, $54,999. Now, the algorithm is showing that is, $2,800 over market value. You guys know, as much as I love and appreciate car gurus, right, this algorithm is not, foolproof, if you will, right? Sometimes it doesn't take into consideration, right, the ebbs and flows that we get in this LC500 market week over week. Now, what I can tell you from my personal experience, right, and I don't put mine over car gurus, I just give it as two perspectives for you guys to take into consideration as you make the ultimate decision, which is what you think about the vehicle. But here's what I'm liking about this vehicle. Number one, I already talked at great length about, the aftermarket pieces that are on this car, right? I think that adds tremendous value. And if I had to put a price tag on it, right, we got, let's just say $1,200 on the front lip, $1,200 on the spoiler. Those are installed. We've got $1,000 on the calipers, right? And we got, $1,000 on the tent, right? So what's that? Let's just say $800 on the tent. So we got $4,000, family, and that's conservative, right? We've got it, unless you're going to take it to a place that that is not normally working on cars of this caliber and above, right? Your Porsches, your Mercedes, your Lamborghinis, and those type of things, right? So you got $4,000 worth of aftermarket parts. We've got a 2018 and one of the most sought after packages, right? I mean, we did a poll, and the largest majority of individuals on the channel are looking for a white red combo. Okay, the fact that this one has 87,000 miles, I think, is why we're getting it at a $54,999 price point. But here's the other elephant in the room. Okay. Right, it is coming from a Lexus dealership, right? And so you guys know the only thing that could put the cherry on top for this one would be if it's certified. Now, unfortunately, it's not, okay? And here's the only reason why. And this is not from my mouth, right? This is actually from the dealership themselves. You guys know that back before 2020, Lexus would cap their L certifications on vehicles that were, if I'm not mistaken, 50,000 miles. That was the cutoff. Once it hit 50,000 miles, it could no longer be certified just because of the standard operating procedures within Lexus, right? They altered that. And so, actually, I just found out today that I didn't know what the actual number was or what the cap was, but I just found out this morning that it's actually 80,000, right? So this vehicle is 7,000 miles shy of actually being a certified vehicle for you and giving you all those, benefits that we talk about week over week. Okay. So I love, though, that this is still coming from a Lexus dealership, and here's why. Okay. So after speaking with them, and I've actually requested the inspection sheet from this one so that you guys can see firsthand all the stuff that Lexus has done to actually get this prepped and ready. But here's what was communicated to me. While the vehicle's not being certified because of those parameters, those mileage parameters, Lexus has absolutely went in here and recondition this vehicle, if you will, as though it were going to be certified. Okay, you're just not going to get the benefits of the certification, but you will get the benefits of the prep that would have come with that certification. Okay, now I was able to get just on the phone a couple things that's included, right? So they've already replaced the rear tires. They've done a full alignment, balance. This car comes with 2 keys. They did the oil change, filters, the windshield wipers. There's a list of things that they've done that totals up to $2,000, and the only thing I don't know is if that $2,000 is parts and labor or if it's just parts or what the case may be. When I get that sheet, family, rest assured that I will jump back in the chats and I will drop you guys a link to that sheet, or at least do something to copy and paste the data out of it so that you guys can get as much access as possible. Okay. All right. But guys, I'm super excited about this car. I mean, just going out here to the Lexus dealership, right, just to look at this thing directly from them. I'm not going to go through the Carfax on this one, but let me just make sure real quick, right? We're talking about 0 accidents, family, 4 previous owners, okay? I'm not mad at that, right? I kind of like that we don't have any accidents on this one, because that gives us even less to be kind of concerned about, right? The fact that we've got 4 owners, we talked about this, right? I like to always see 2, but at some point, family, as the years increase on this car, and we're now at 6 years, we've got to change our position on what we feel about multiple owners, right? I mean, I was in a very, very good chat the other day about why there's so much turnover on these cars. I've talked a bit at length right now, so maybe I'll share that conversation at a later time. But I think what summarizes is that, listen, for a lot of people who purchase this car, number one, right, we're not 23 years old, right? It's not our primary vehicle. And unless you own it outright, then, if you're making a payment on a car that you barely drive, sometimes what happens is, you enjoy it for a season and then, you might move on, which is why, you guys know I have a very, aggressive stance on, I think this vehicle is absolutely best when it is not your primary vehicle. It's a vehicle that you enjoy. It's a leisure vehicle, etc. Man, I'm adding to that. I think that this vehicle is probably best served to the individual, right, whenever it's a cash car, right? And I know that's going to be a tremendous, feat for some of us. For others, it won't be as much of an ask. But I think that's going to be the best way to enjoy this car, is when you don't have any type of financial commitments to it other than keep it maintained and enjoy the bad boy. Okay. So, literally, I think this guy, I mean, no thinking, after talking to Milton, he mentioned that he's already got several folks who have called him and is chomping at the bit to get a look at this thing as soon as it comes out of prep tomorrow morning. And interestingly enough, there's quite a few of his colleagues who have folks that are working with them as well. So this one, and I don't want to hype it up just for the sake of hyping it up, right? But when we look at the specs on this bad boy, this is one that is absolutely not going to survive the weekend, especially if it's a beautiful weekend. I think this one's in Charlotte. This one's in North Carolina, I believe. Yeah. Oh gosh. Yeah. Charlotte, North Carolina. Come on, fam. This ain't gonna last the weekend. Okay. Heck, Milton even mentioned that. Listen, if it was the right timing for him, he would have never. This thing would have never saw the light of the sales. He would have picked it up before it came out of prep. So, if you are looking for a very, very well and low priced Lexus LC500 sports package with some very good OEM carbon bits and some nice, tasteful aftermarket additions, little bit higher miles, but you got that peace of mind that this has come through the Lexus dealership. No L certification. What he did mention, though, is they've got this 3-month limited powertrain warranty that'll come on this car. You can extend that if you prefer, but that's going to just support that transmission from the Lexus LC500. Again, I think once we get this sheet back, I think that personally, is going to be kind of the bread and butter for exactly the condition. And then, of course, in-person look over this vehicle, right? But no accidents. I feel like this is good. Okay, let me move on because I'm getting into a rant on this car because I'm really excited about it. All right. Now, equally excited about a couple more vehicles that we got. Now, here's another one that is still in prep. We have no pictures whatsoever, but listen, I want to get this in front of you. Now, if you guys didn't jump back in the chats last week, guys, I don't think it was until Tuesday when that $62,000 touring package, white one, certified, pictures finally came available, but I did drop a link into it. So if you're interested in that, take a look at last week's episode, go back into the chats. I've got a link out there for that one. If I'm not mistaken, it's still available. Okay, this one is a 2018. It is a ultra white exterior. It's got that Rioja red interior on this guy. Family, 46,000 miles. Okay, 46,000 miles, coming in at $64,995. Now, we don't have pictures to look at on this one, but a couple things that I'm excited about this one is that we are absolutely looking at a performance package. Okay, now, guys, a lot of conversations over the last few weeks about prices being too high, and these are not even performance package offerings. Well, that's why I've got this one in front of you this week because, again, family, we got to take into consideration the current climate for these vehicles, right? $64,000 actually for a 46,000 mile is probably not even a bad price in late last year's climate, okay? But definitely not a bad price in the June of 2024 climate. Okay, we've got a $64,995 offering for a performance package. With, if we gave this car the 10,000 mile allotment per year, guys, we're still at least 14,000 miles up underneath that normal allotment, right? And this thing is certified. Okay, so couple things I want to go through on this bad boy, right? Let's look at the Carfax on this one since we don't have any pictures to look at, and then we'll kind of go back and just talk about, what's the additional value in this vehicle because we've got this certification on it, right? No accidents on this one, which I'm loving. This one also has 4 previous owners, right? Similar to the other one that we saw, okay? Since we don't have any accidents, we don't have to worry about all of that structural damage, airbag deployment, and stuff like that. Let's rather on this one, let's look and see what the services or any additional information we can find on this one, right? Now, this is interesting. I've never seen owners 1 through, well, that's 1 through 2. Maybe because there's 4 and they want to get this into a format, they put it in a column like that, okay? Or it could be because they're just so few miles, right? It looks like on this one, let's face it, owners 1 and 2, very light mileage, right? Owner 3 is the one who enjoyed this car, right? And then owner 4, again, light mileage on this bad boy, okay? All California car. Let's see what we can find here on any services. Again, as we look through this, family, if we don't find any of the service records on the Carfax, we're already purchasing this from a Lexus dealership. Just go ahead and ask the Lexus dealer or the sales rep that you're partnering with. Go ahead and ask them if they can provide you with anything that they have in their database, okay? Because as I'm looking right here, not really seeing a lot of information, right? No information, to be quite honest with you. Yeah, not a lot of information. So we're not going to gain a lot from the Carfax report, with the exception that this car is, 4 owners and no accidents. And you know what? I'm good with that. Okay. So I think this one's going to be another one, family, that, it feels like we go through stages where people just want the LC500 and then they want a specific version of the LC500. And right now, I feel like the performance package is very much sought after, okay? You guys know the difference between the performance package and the sports package, right, is really the retractable spoiler on the back, the carbon fiber top instead of a glass top, the carbon fiber seals on the inside of the door, and the rear steering, okay, for the back of the vehicle, all right? Those aspects of the vehicle are just highly sought after right now in this particular season of the LC500, okay? And so I think that's going to make this a very popular vehicle. And when we think about the certification that's going to come with this one, family, we've got a 46,000 mile vehicle that's going to be covered for the next 20,000 miles. So you guys know we're going to absolutely get that larger 60,000 mile service taken care of. Now that's conservatively $1,000 in and of itself. So, that's $2,000 worth of practical dollars saved that you are going to get with this vehicle, which, practically takes this thing down to a $62,995 vehicle. Okay. You also get that 2-year bumper to bumper warranty on this thing. So that's a peace of mind that, I drop another $2,000 on. More recently, I think I was partnering with an individual online. I can't recall if they mentioned it was from a Lexus dealership that was offering them an extended warranty or not. But either way, the price point that they put on it was it was $3,000 for 50,000 miles. Okay. Now, this 2-year warranty is not 50,000 mile warranty, but it's a full 2 years directly from the Lexus dealership without having to worry with any third parties. The fact that I'm putting a $2,000 value on that, I think is, again, conservative, right? But when you take into consideration those 2 points, you could practically be looking at a $60,995 vehicle here based upon all of the additional value that's baked into that L certification, okay? Now, the other pieces that we can't talk about, obviously, are what else is done to this vehicle. Excuse me, family. Right? We could see this vehicle and it's got tint on it. It's got, some carbon fiber stuff on it, right? Some tasteful mods that would increase the value in our community, right? I know that a lot of times when we get overly modified, sometimes that tends to reduce the value of the vehicle, but we don't know what the status is. This vehicle could be 100% untouched, okay? I think those are the things that I'm going to employ anyone who's interested in this vehicle to absolutely further investigate. And then I'm going to ask that if you find out any additional things, whether you get a picture or whatever the case may be, please do report back to the rest of the community so that if you're not interested in it and someone else is, it gives them that greater amount of information on it. Okay. All right, family. And then last but not least, guys, we've got a tremendous offering from Hottenrick Desert Lexus. Schottenkirk. Sorry, guys. Schottenkirk Desert Lexus out here in California, right? Guys, I got this one in front of us because we've got, a beautiful 2018 Nightfall Mica exterior, right? I always love these interiors. I mean, this exterior color, right? You don't see a lot of them. Excuse me. You don't see a lot of them. And I think with the toasted caramel or the Rioja red interior, it just pops, okay? So we've got the 21-inch wheels on this one, and I'm calling that out because this is actually a touring package, okay? When we get on the inside, you'll be able to see that. This one does look to have the Lexus OEM carbon fiber spoiler on the back of it, right? Which we've already talked about the value that adds. Let me go back and see if the front... I don't think that we've got anything on that front. Maybe we do, maybe we don't, right? That'd have to be something we'd have to look at a little bit further. And, the only reason I'm doing that is because sometimes when we see the OEM parts, in some cases, either the builder or just the manufacturer or the dealer, when they built the spec in 2018, they just decided to go ahead and add that to it. When you find it, it adds tremendous value, and that's why I talk about it here on the channel, right? We do have the tint on this one, and of course, like, we got that toasted caramel interior, okay? Now, I love this interior and I love the way that they spec'd out this car because we've talked about these aniline leather seats, right? The non-sport seats. And we talked about how, some folks feel that these are probably the more comfortable seat across all the offerings, right? Either way, what I love is that this individual has already put those 21s on there because I think aesthetically, that's the biggest thing that the touring packages are probably missing, right? I think your seat choice is going to be just that, your choice. Now, the LSD, I'm a little partial to, but I'll be honest with you. I've driven the touring package. I've driven the sports package. And, I don't know that I can absolutely feel it or feel a difference, right? I think that could be something that, the LSDs are just like stamped in the back of your mind if you're an older individual as an option to have, right? And so I don't know if that's a little bit of brainwashing or if it really makes a difference. The reality is with the power and the powertrain that we have in this vehicle, you can definitely get those back tires kicked out from underneath you. But that limited slip differential tends to kind of keep that rear kind of in alignment and locked in together. I haven't put a line down on the road to tell you if I see one tire or two tires, depending on whether or not you got LSD or not. So, I have no idea. But that's the big differences on this one, right? Everything else looks to be showing good, right? We always take a closer look on some of the lighter interiors just to make sure that the wear patterns, don't look weared out. Guys, 35,000 miles on this one. Again, that toasted caramel interior, everything looks, and gosh, I just love the way. I mean, I love my glass top, and I'll even like my black and red interior, right? Or the Rioja red interior. But boy, that Alcantara headliner, you do not see it show as good in any other color other than this doggone toasted caramel. I mean, it almost looks like you don't even have an Alcantara headliner on any other color except this toasted caramel. It just looks so plush, makes you feel like you're in a Rolls or something, man. It's just beautiful. Okay, there it is again, right? Love the glass top on this one too, right? Wheels look to be great shape. Tires look to be great shape. You know, two keys on this one, which I absolutely love. Looks like, they've absolutely got all of the original manuals and everything, which I love that as well. Um, yeah, family. So let's get to the deets on this one, right? 18 Nightfall Mica, 35,000 miles, $64,000. L certified. Okay, let's look. Zero accidents, and this one's got two previous owners, family. So for those of us who are looking for something that's maybe less used, right? I think this one's got a tremendous offering for those. Okay, we are paying a little bit for it. Okay, because we're talking about a touring package with two previous owners, 35,000 miles at 64,000. Actually, because it's L certified, I mean, that's the saving grace on this one, right? And because it's got those 21 inches already put on there, it looks to actually, I mean, if I had to bet, I would say carbon fiber on this one potentially, but definitely carbon fiber on the rear. Got a lot of goodies baked in on this one, right, fam? A lot of goodies baked in. And the fact that we have zero accidents, I think that's a tremendous gain for us on this one, okay? Okay, 4 days at the dealership, right? Not long. And last thing I want to say on this one, right? Let me see if we've got this is just jumping out here at the dealer page. They got a couple 360s you can look at, and then I'm looking at the Carfax on this one. Let me see real quickly if we've got a good service record that we can see already. All right, looks like this one was sold out of Texas, stayed in Texas. 5,000 mile service performed on this one. 10,000 mile service, brakes checked. Okay, just good stuff at 10,000 miles. Remember, this one's got 35,000 miles on it. Okay, front and rear pads replaced at 11,000 miles. We already know, family, that more than likely that is definitely the getting the sports pads off this thing so it doesn't squeak. Okay, all right, but keep in mind, you've got brakes that only have about 25,000 miles on them. And gosh, I haven't heard the brake replacement cycle, but I would stand to say that you at least got another 25 on those guys, right? 25,000, that is. Okay. All right. Alignment's done at 12,000, 15,000 mile done here. 20,000 mile done. I'm looking to see if we can find tire replacement by any chance. 25,000 miles done, brakes checked, yep. Tire pressures checked. 30,000 miles. See, man, look, this is what I love to see personally, right? Now, in my mind, this car is, from an opportunity perspective, is creeping from good to great, right? Because we've got fully serviced vehicle here. We've got brakes we know we don't have to worry about, right? That 30,000 miles done. I mean, again, the only thing that I'm looking at, and from the pictures, the tires look to be good, but sometimes those pictures can be deceiving, right? Okay, guys, look right here. It looks like in 2020 we've got new tires. Okay, now I'm assuming here. I'm assuming that we've got our four of them instead of two, right? But more than likely, just kind of intuition on the individuals who've owned this vehicle based upon how it's driven, how it's been serviced, right? More than likely, they're not replacing two tires. They're replacing all four of them. The other thing I'm looking at here too is that they resurfaced the rotors, right? Which sounds like the right thing to do whenever we get brand new tires, right? We probably got an alignment on this one too, although it's not showing here. But what I do love is that less than 4,000 miles ago, we had brake rotors resurfaced. Okay, the rear brake pads were replaced, right? So maybe, I don't know, maybe yeah, I'm not going to infer on that, right? But the rear brake pads replaced, four tires mountain balanced. Okay, and so what you're not going to have to do with this vehicle is you're not going to have to worry about tires. Okay, you're not going to have to worry about brakes. You're not going to have to worry about rotors, right? Alignment checked, so alignment's in good shape on this one. Dang it, then we got more tires mounted and balanced right here. So yeah, guys, I think we got to have a conversation with the dealership on this one. Keep in mind, it's a Lexus certified vehicle, so they're going to be able to give you that inspection sheet, and on that inspection sheet, you're going to be able to see exactly the tread wear, or not wear, but the tread remaining on each of these tires. From all of this that I'm looking at right here and the pictures we saw, I'm thinking you've got a certified vehicle with newer tires, you've got resurfaced rotors, new brakes, you've got your oil change, all your services done at the intervals they were supposed to be. You've got, as a touring package, you've got some free carbon bits, you've got the upgraded 21-inch wheels on this bad boy, and guess what? We still got to talk real quickly about the certification. So you've got a 2-year 4-service warranty on this thing, which means that up to 55,000 miles, you're not going to have to worry about the out-of-pocket for services. You're just shy of that 60, right? Because it's almost a full 5,000 miles, I doubt that you're going to be able to negotiate with the Lexus dealership and say, hey, let me get that included. But let's just go ahead and say you got an extra $1,000 off of this because of the maintenance, right? That pops it down to $63,989, and then $2,000 for the warranty. Not going to talk about that coverage at length because we did on the previous vehicle, right? But that gives you roughly about $3,000 off this vehicle, which puts it at $61,989. If you're able to negotiate a little bit because it's a touring package, and I only say that, family, because I want to use every opportunity we can to get the vehicle at the absolute lowest cost for you, not trying to degrade the touring package, right? You guys, if you've heard any of my reviews in depth, you know that I've got a tremendous appreciation for each one of these three models, okay? But yeah, if you're able to get let's just get the 989 off this one, because I don't think you're going to have to go in there and have any conversations about the condition of this vehicle. I think the condition has kind of spoken for itself, right? So maybe now that we don't have to worry about trying to get tires or brakes or any of that stuff, now let's just see if we can't strike up a good relationship and conversation and get this thing into a 63 number, right? To kind of help take care of a little bit of that tax tag and title for you. And then, family, this is a tremendous opportunity, right? It's a 35,000 mile vehicle. Yeah, I'm loving this one. So if you guys are looking for a beautiful, more rare, nightfall mica with that gorgeous toasted caramel interior, you want the comfort aspect of the touring package seats, but you love the sportiness of those 21-inch wheels that come on the sports and the performance package, and you like a little bit of carbon on your car, family, I think this one's going to be a tremendous opportunity for you, okay? Fam, that is our episode for the week. I will have all the details of what we discussed tonight in the comments. You guys have a beautiful weekend. Godspeed.